how, and then you have low. Why is it not pronounced ho? So I learned English when I was a kid, and you might say, okay, so why do you still have an accent? Clock that. I think it's because I started learning English when I was a kid, but I didn't start speaking English until I was a teenager, and it wasn't even every day. It was just a couple sentences here and there to practice my English. When I really started speaking English every day, I already was an adult. I think that's why I have an accent, okay? At the end of the day, I don't know, I don't care. The accent is here and it doesn't seem to go away, okay? So whatever, that's not the point. The point is that I was thinking, if I were to start learning English today,
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice.
it will be impossible for me. And it's not because, oh, I'm older and I wouldn't get it, I cannot learn anything now that I'm older. No. It's because now I have the capacity to analyze and make questions that I didn't make when I was a kid, okay? English doesn't make sense. It doesn't, okay, hold on. Don't get mad at me, but English doesn't make any sense when you are reading it. When you are reading English, it doesn't make sense, okay? And let me explain to you why. This is coming from a Spanish speaker, okay? When you're learning English, you first need to learn the alphabet, right? So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. But let's talk about the vowels. Let's talk about the vowels. Okay, so you have A. They tell you that this letter, it's called A. And the sound that it makes is right? As in apple, as in car. But then you have other words where you pronounce it A. For example, the word face. You don't say fast, you say face. So you either pronounce it A, and sometimes you don't even pronounce it, or you pronounce it different. For example, in the word bear, you're saying B, You're not saying you're not saying A, you're saying bear. That pisses me off. Why is it that sometimes it's like in car, sometimes it's A, like in wait or main, and sometimes it's as in bear? That already makes it so confusing, and it's the same thing with the other vowels. Okay, for example, the vowel E, right? You have the E, boom. So it's pronounced E, sometimes it's and sometimes you don't even pronounce it as well. Okay, hold on. The word do, as in D-U-E, do. You don't say due or do-e. You say do, like the E is there for aesthetically purposes. You don't even pronounce it. The word apple, you don't say apple or apple. You say apple, like the E, you don't say it. Late. So here the A, you're pronouncing it as A, but then the E is mute. And then the only way that you pronounce the E as E is if there's a double E. Peeing. You see? Peeing. So you're saying E, and you have two different vowels, but you are making the exact same sound. E, peeing. Let's go to the vowel I. So it's pronounced I, sometimes it's pronounced E, and sometimes it's E. In the word steal, as in S-T-I-L-L, is E. In the word diet, you don't say diet, you say I. You pronounce it as I. Diet. I know there are some rules that if like a vowel is next to another vowel, this and that, I know, but it pisses me off that it seems like for every word there's an exception. What I'm trying to say is that with the English language, you never know how to pronounce a word unless you already know the word. If you only know the alphabet of the English language, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you only know the alphabet and then you go straight to reading, you won't know how to read, because the words sometimes you don't pronounce them as you learn them. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Okay, and let's compare it to Spanish so you can see where I'm coming from. In Spanish, A is pronounced A. It's called A and it's pronounced A. So it's A, E, I, O, U. Those are the names, and that's exactly the way that you're going to pronounce those letters. Every time you see the letter A in Spanish, you're going to pronounce it as A. It's not that sometimes it's going to be A, sometimes it's going to be A, and sometimes you don't even pronounce it. No, baby. If you see an A in a Spanish word, you're always going to pronounce it as A. And the same for the other vowels, A, E, I, O, U. If I give you this word, natación, you see it? Like I'm going to pronounce the A as A, nata, si, I, o, or I'm not going to say natation. You see what I'm saying? Like in English, that could have been the case. If this word was in English, you could have pronounced it 100 different ways. Like you could say natation or natation. You don't really know, because like I was saying, every word in the English language has their own rules. That's why when you learn the alphabet in English and then you are trying to read English, it doesn't make sense, at least for Spanish speakers. And that's why I think that a lot of Spanish speakers have a hard time learning English, even though English and Spanish are very similar, because we have the same alphabet and a lot of the words are even the same. Like chocolate, it's the same, like you spell it the same, you only pronounce it differently. Let's go to chocolate. You say chocolate, like you need to pronounce every vowel. Now I'm going to show you some examples of words that I've been writing down so you can understand where I'm coming from and why is it that I'm saying that the English language, especially the pronunciation in English, it just doesn't make any sense. Unless you learn English as a child and you have memorized every word, if you stop and analyze the pronunciation of the words in English, you're going to see what I'm saying. Okay, hold on. So we have the word creature, and then we have the word feature. These are pronounced similar, okay? But then, look at this one. Choir. And then we have quiet. You have almost the same pronunciation. The word doesn't even look the same. Okay, boom. Busy. Here in busy, you're pronouncing it as B. The U, you're saying like B. You're not saying boo or boo, like bussy. You're not saying bussy, you're saying busy. Busy. Why in the word busy are we pronouncing the U as But then you have the word Susie. And here you're saying ooh, Susie. And it's almost the same word. So why is it that in busy we have B and then in Susie we have Sue? Boom. How? And then you have low. Why is it not pronounced ho?
Next one. Please give me cock. Cock.
The word how, it should be pronounced ho. Based on your rules, why is how pronounced ao? So why are we pronouncing how as how instead of ho? And then you have low. Here you're pronouncing it correctly, right? Like you're pronouncing the O as O, low. But how, why is it ao? Ao, why is it ao? Next one, dies. And then you have diet. Dies. Here the E is pronounced as E, and then diet, you're pronouncing it as E. So why is it? Because the E, it's the same example. In dies, the E has a vowel before and a consonant after. And in diet, it has a vowel before and a consonant after. So what is the rule in there? You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. It seems like for every word there's an exception. Like if you want to learn English, you need to memorize every word and you need to know how to say every word. Because if you don't, you're going to mispronounce it or say it incorrectly. What is the rule? Why do you pronounce the E in dies as I, and then in diet you say eh? Next one, we have retain, and then we have written. Why in retain I am saying te-in, but in Britain it's like the E is not even there, and as you can see, those words end the same way in T-A-I-N. So why is it that in one word I'm pronouncing the E and in the other one it's silent? What's the rule? What's the rule? It's the same. They both end the same way. What's the rule? Why is it not Britain? Why is it not Britain? It's either one or the other. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Why is it retain and why is it Britain? So we have the word to, then we have the word to, and then we have the word tomato. This one really pissed me off. This one really pissed me off because the double O, the T-O-O. Okay, I feel like that one is correct because you have the two O's, right? It's two. But then the T-O, wouldn't it be toe? Wouldn't that be toe? Why are we pronouncing that as two? Wouldn't it be toe? Tomato. Tomato really pisses me off because why are we saying the first T as a T and then the second T we are pronouncing it as an R? Tomato. Wouldn't it be tomato or tomato? So it's either tomato or tomato. Why is the second T and R? Okay, the next one. Bear as in B-A-R-E and bear as in B-E-A-R. You pronounce both of those words the same way. Bear and bear. bear and bear. The first one, the B-A-R-E, wouldn't it be bare or Barry or something? I feel like bare makes sense, or beire. Why are you pronouncing the R at the end of the word? It's in the middle. It's B-A-R-E. It should be beary or something. Why is it bear? I need to call the Oxford Dictionary people. I need to call them and have a real conversation with them. Okay, the next one. So we have peaked, we have peaked, and we have peaked. They're all pronounced the same way. They're all pronounced the same way, but you type them differently, like you write them differently. Wouldn't it be P-ached? Because you have an A there, so wouldn't it be P-ached? Wouldn't it be pecan? What's going on with English? Who made this shit up? Who did it? Who did it? Who invented English? Geoffrey Chaucer is considered to be the father of the English language. Geoffrey Chaucer. I don't even know how to pronounce your name because of your rules. Geoffrey Chaucer or Chaucer or Chaucer. I don't know. Geoffrey, when I catch you. When I catch you, Geoffrey. Okay, the other word. Wary and wary. Wary and wary. Wouldn't the second one be wary? Because it's an or wary. Okay, now we have do and do. Wouldn't the second one, the D-O, be dough? Like tomato, you say O. Wouldn't it be dough instead of do? There's no double O. So why are we saying oo and not O? And then in do, the E doesn't exist. It's not do-E. Who made this? Okay, the other one. Mary and Mary. The first one, Mary. Wouldn't it be Mary or Mary? Are you Mary? Would you marry me? Would you marry me? Wouldn't it be like that? But no, it's Mary. But that's an A though. And you taught me that the A is pronounced A or A. So why are we saying The other one. Steal, steal, and steal. The first one, wouldn't it be stale or something like that? Why is it steal? So we have vanilla and Vanessa. Wouldn't it be vanilla? Vanilla? Why is it vanilla? Why are you saying that the I is an E? Okay, oh my god, this one really pisses me off because, okay, so we have Nike, we have Mike, we have hike, and we have psych. Now in Spanish, I know Nike or Nike, whatever, it's not a Spanish word, but every time we see that word, we say Nike. And I think it's because if Mike is Mike, why is Nike not Nike and Nike? They are the same word. The only thing that you're changing is the first letter. Why is that last E suddenly pronounced as E, and then in Mike, it's mute? The same thing for hike. For me, the word Nike, I don't say Nike. It just doesn't make sense. For me, it's Nike. If one is pronounced one way, you cannot tell me that the other one is pronounced a different way. Like Mike is either Mike and Nike, or it's either Mikey and Nike. So make up your mind. Make up your mind. Yes, sir.
English is very messed up. How can you drink a drink, but you can't food a food? You have to eat a food and you can drink a drink. English